I think it's safe to say made in China is here to stay. If you live a Western style lifestyle, it's almost impossible to do anything, buy anything, any kind of tool, any kind of appliance without it being made in China. So you can't really live a modern westernized lifestyle without made in China, and that's pretty sad. And in some ways we've lost a lot of things, alright? And one of the things, there's two things I hate about made in China. One is the frustration of the cheapness of the whatever it is. It will always break, it will always fail on you, and you always have that frustration. And the second thing is just what it's doing to the environment. It's not environmentally sustainable. It's doing a lot of damage. And I think, you know, it would be good if we had a big rethink about this whole idea of made in China. So the two things I try and do in my lifestyle, in my own little way, my little corner of the earth, to change that is: one, I like to use older recycled materials and tools and appliances when I can. Alright, things for the garden, things for the home. Okay, they have less environmental impact and often they last longer. So I'm just going to show you some cast iron cookware I picked up really cheap, and some garden tools. And this is just how I feel about the whole thing. Okay, if you went to you know, whatever store it was in your area, cooking store, and you had $30 odd to spend, you wouldn't really, for that money you wouldn't really get anything. Okay, you might get a very cheap pot that would last a year or two. You might get, you know, a really cheap knife, a cheap peeler or something like that. But in the world of, you know, cookware, $30 is nothing, alright? Okay. These three were around about $30, okay? Years and years of use out of these guys, okay? So these are all cast iron. This is the enamel style cast iron, which is probably a little bit, yes, less useful for the bush. They're more designed for the home, okay? Just very ease of maintenance, because with the enamel you don't have to season and oil the cast iron, okay? These ones are cheaper. This is a brand called Crofton, made in China or India or whatever, stuff like that. But actually even the cheaper cast iron is worth having. It's not as good as this one. You can tell the difference in quality, but for second hand, well worth having, and we'll get years and years of use out of it. This is a heavy small pot. Okay, and this one's a shallow dish. It's actually a really useful design. This, I like this design. But this is the classic Le Creuset. Okay, and anybody who's, you know, a bit of a gastronome will know Le Creuset. That is as good as it will get in terms of cast iron. Okay, it's very high quality. This was $15, brand new. It is $519. Okay, so I've saved myself over $500. Okay, I've always wanted one of these, but I get the really high price tag has always put me off. But I'm just amazed that it could be picked up that cheaply. Bargain. Okay, so I am a scavenger. I do spend a lot of time whenever I can. Always check out a car boot sale, jumbo sale, charity shop. Okay, that's the way to go. The more you look, the more you will find. Tool restoration is not something I really covered a lot in this channel, but I'm going to maybe start doing a few videos on it. It's pretty easy, man. You know, if I can do it, anybody can do it. So this spade here is an example of what you can do. This is a Cyclone spade. It's a vintage one. Cyclone, Australian brand, very good quality. Alright, even today that's probably about the best tools that are out there in terms of garden tools or agricultural tools. And that's an old one as well, so you know, these repainted and rehandled, but the steel is still sound, so you know, you'll get another, you know, 30-40 years out of that after, you know, maybe an hour's of work, an hour, maybe less. So yeah, I mean, that was $5. Sledgy was $5. A couple of them I've found for free. Usually they don't have a lot of value in today's society. If it's broken, people tend to throw it away. So you either get it for cheap or you get it for nothing. The sledgehammer is an old English one. That's what you're looking for with these vintage tools: Australian made, American made, German made.
Swedish, Scandinavian, all good. You know, obviously made in China, it's usually not worth restoring. So that just needs rehandled. I might do a spotted gum handle on that one. That would be like that's a traditional wood used in Australia for that kind of tools. And with this one, the garden fork, so I've took the handle off this one. The handle was pretty far gone. It's very hard to find a garden fork second hand, obviously because the tines don't really last. They're a little bit more fragile than spades and shovels. And this one, somebody's actually at some point, there must have been a little bit of a crack in it. Somebody's gone to the trouble of putting a really great big weld on that guy. You know, obviously took the time to do a big repair on it. Maybe somebody worked in the steelworks or something. It's one hell of a weld, and it's patinaed. The weld's patinaed as well, so it's lasted a long time. So it's not got any maker's mark on it. Obviously, it's vintage. Guess would be 1940s. You know, 1950s. But little border or garden, border or cottage garden size. So there's just some of the tools I've picked up. Again, I've spent less than $15 in this lot, and it's going to be a good long, you know, down the road, hopefully 5 years now, from 10 years now, I'll still be using these tools. Alright, and when I go and I try and buy tools, this is where I try to go with all my kit, okay? Garden, home, whatever. $50, okay, so $50, it's a fair amount of money to pay for a pair of secateurs, but you know, they last a long time, okay? They're going to last a lifetime. Falco number 5s, very, very well made. You know, you can buy replacement parts of the spring brakes or something. You can buy replacement blades. I really need to clean them up a little bit, as you can see, but I've really been giving these a good workout past couple of months, and I've loaned them to a few friends and stuff like that, and everybody's commented on, oh, it's just so good to use. It's just it's a joy to use the tool. You know, it makes the work easier. Do you know what I mean? So what kind of makes sense? You know, spend $50 for something that's really good, that's going to last a long time, or you know, this kind of thing. You know, made in China or whatever. It's a bad design. You know, brakes, spring brakes, can't replace it. It's designed to be disposable, designed to last a year, a season or two in the garden or whatever, and then just be thrown away. So for me, this just is the way to go. It's what makes sense, and quality tools are still out there.